I welcome you all for my presentation. So, from this diagram we can easily understood what is the thing we are going to discuss in this entire presentation. Obviously we are going to discuss the various security system concepts associated in the system which may associated in a network or a general PC, that is a personal computer. So, in this my entire presentation I am going to discuss the computer security threats and its various assets. So, the quick overview of this entire presentation is I am going to talk about what are the various types of securities are there, why security is necessary, and what are the various components are there in the systems, and how every component is affected with the security, and what are the major factors or major concepts we have to follow for the different kinds of elements. Like we can say software is one element, and hardware is another one element, and connecting devices is everything is another one element. So likewise we can say there are so many elements are associated in the operating system. So in this my presentation I am going to talk about how to protect all those various components which is associated in the operating systems. So first we are going to talk about I am going to discuss about the computer security concepts and the various threats, attacks and its assets, then intruders, malicious software overview, viruses, worms and bots, and your rootkits. Okay, so first is a computer security threats, the basic computer security concepts. The NIST, that is a National Institute of Science and Technology, they defined the computer security as it is a protection of, I want to protect my own data which is available in the system. Maybe the system is connected in the network, or it may be a single system, that is a PC. So we have to make a automated information system to attain or to get some objectives like integrity, availability and confidentiality of the information system resources. That is called as a computer security. So the computer security is the protection afforded to an automated information system in order to attain the applicable objectives of preserving the integrity, availability and confidentiality of the information resources, inclusive of, that is, it's not only for the data, it's also about the hardware, software, firmware and the various telecommunication devices which is associated for, which is used for transmitting the data from one place into the another place. So this is the way the computer security is defined. So the major security functions we want to concentrate, security services we want to concentrate here is, as here is indicated very clearly, one is integrity, and second one is availability, and third one is a confidentiality. If any systems is having all these three concepts, that we may say that it is a completely secured systems. But unfortunately the complete secured systems still we are not able to provide, because of the so many new attacks are generated by the hacker or a third party. So the three key objectives are called as, one is a confidentiality, in that we have defined into the two way. One is a data confidentiality and privacy. What do you mean by confidentiality? Confidentiality, we can say it is called as a secrecy. right? Okay. So when I want to transfer the data from one place into the another place, I want to pass those data in a confidential manner. So what I want to do is I need to mask my own data and then I pass into the other end, so that if there is any intruders or if there is any third party is trying to hack my own data, with the help of that mask they are not in the position to open my own data. So that is called as a confidentiality. So that is a data confidentiality and a privacy. Privacy is called as to whom I want to deliberate my own informations or to whom I want to get my own informations. That is called as a privacy. Okay. So how we can able to achieve this masking concept? That is done only with the help of the encryption mechanism. Next is integrity. Integrity is called as access. Data integrity and system integrity. So integrity is there are the two types of integrity. One is a data integrity and the system integrity. So the meaning of the data integrity is called as authorization. Other way we can say it is called as authorization. That is with respect to the data, it is called as a data integrity, and with respect to the hardware components, that is a computer or a network devices, that is a system integrity. And finally that is called as availability. So these are the three major key objectives which places a vital role in computer security concept. Now data confidentiality. Data confidentiality is assumes that private or confidential information is not made available or disclosed to unauthorized individuals. What do you mean by privacy? Privacy is what information related to them may be collected or stored and by whom and to whom that information may be disclosed. So that is called as a privacy. Data integrity is information and programs are changed only in a specified and authorized manner. That's why I said it is access. It is related to the access control. And system integrity. System integrity is systems perform its intended function in an unimpaired manner, free from deliberate or inadvertent unauthorized manipulation of the system. That is called as a system integrity. So without having any partiality, the system has to perform the respective functions, and it also hide the functions from the functions should not affect by the unauthorized users for manipulation of any new informations. Availability. So availability is the services provided by the system, it should be available to the users. It's so in this case how this third party is affecting in this. So they are denying the services or denying the access to use the particular computer or the services from the authorized users. So simple example is a denial of service is one example of this availability. So all these three major objectives, it forms a triad. So these are the three major security services or the objectives which influence the systems to make the very secured one. Okay. So the major aim of this triad is not only providing the security for the data, it's also about the computing devices. So there are three objectives, as I said earlier. Confidentiality. The meaning of the confidentiality is preserving authorized restrictions on information access. So we want to give the authorization for accessing the particular information and disclosure, including means for protecting personal privacy and proprietary information. In case if there is a loss in the confidentiality, then what will happen? That automatically the unauthorized users disclosed our own sensitive data or our own sensitive information to the outside world. Integrity. So integrity, it's I am going to guarding against improper information modification, especially for non-repudiation and authentication. So integrity, we should not allow any unauthorized users to modify or destruct, including ensuring information, non-repudiation and authenticity. Okay, if we are a loss of integrity, it means that the particular message has been modified or destruction of the information. Availability is at all the time the services, the requested services are available to the users. If there is any loss in the availability, so then automatically the disruption of access or the use of information or on information systems, that it leads to that particular attack. Okay, so if we are going to talk about these three mechanisms, these three applications is enough to have a complete security concepts in any systems. Obviously in that point we can add another two more additional applications. One is called as authenticity and accountability. Authenticity is that is a simple way we can say we have to receive the data only from the trusted user, or we want to send the data only from the trusted user for the particular transmission. So the transmission should be a valid one, and both the user, the originator and the end user, it's supposed to be a authorized one. Okay, so this means the verifying the user's identity. And accountability is one of the major security goal. So that generates the requirement for actions of an entity to be traced uniquely to that entity. So what are the things they have done, all these things is to be traced. Okay, it supports the accountability, it supports non-repudiation, deterrence, fault isolation, intrusion detection and prevention, and after action recovery and legal action. So all these things is supported by the accountability. So next, threats, attacks and assets. So threats and attacks. So unauthorized disclosure is a threat to the confidentiality. Obviously unauthorized disclosure is a threat to the confidentiality. Yes, obviously, because the meaning of the confidentiality is a secrecy. If we are breaking the secrecy, obviously it is only done with the help of disclosure of the particular messages. So according to the RFC 2828, that is request for comment, so it have the four kinds of threats which is shown in the table. One is a unauthorized disclosure, that it leads to the concept of confidentiality, it affects the confidentiality, and deception and disruption, and the third one as usurpation. Okay, we will go one by one. Exposure. Now what do you mean by exposure? So exposure is a insider, that is a user unknowingly they releases their own sensitive information. Maybe knowingly or unknowingly they are releasing their sensitive informations. Say for an example, the credit card numbers to the outsider. Okay, so what will happen? The result of a human or a hardware or a software error, it may causes only may causes into the because of the error, the third party is gaining the access for this sensitive data. Okay, say for an example, unknowingly the university accidentally posting the students confidential information on the web. Okay, this is a simple diagram for this sensitive exposure. Next, interception. So interception is it is a common attack where every individual, every third party, they can receive the particular packet. They receive the copy of the packet for the particular transmission. That is, they are hacking the entire data. That can be done only maybe with the help of some traffic analysis and other concepts. So interception is a common attack in the context of communication. Okay, while transmitting the data, they will receive the copy of the data. See in this diagram, they will receive the copy of the data between both the intended and authorized party. So based on that received informations, they can modify certain data. So that is called as interception. Next is inference. Inference is inference is based on the things of a traffic analysis. That is, with the help of the traffic analysis, based on the pattern, how they are transmitting the data. So based on that, the third party is gaining the knowledge about the information or the data communications, whether how frequently they are communicating it, what is the size of the packet, whether it is a large burst or it is a small burst. With all these things, they will observe through the traffic. With that basic knowledge, they will get the data. They are getting the data. Okay. So the example is the inference of detailed information from a database by a user who has only a limited access. Next is intrusion. So intrusion is gaining the unauthorized access to the sensitive data. Even though the security control is provided, the third party is breaking all the access controls and gaining the access to the sensitive data. That is called as an intrusion. So this is the way the intrusion can be done. So one simple example of the intrusion. So next is deception. So deception, in this concept, the deception is directly affect the system integrity. Okay. Suppose if we have a deception threat, then it directly affect the data integrity. That it's simply a integrity. Okay. So if we have a integrity, then the following attacks will happen in our system. One is called as a masquerade, second one falsification, and third one repudiation. So deception is one of the attack of the integrity. If we have that, it is one of the thread of the integrity. If we have that, automatically we have three types attacks are possible. One is a masquerade, and another one is a falsification, and third one is repudiation. Now what do you mean by masquerade? So masquerade is a unauthorized user gained access to a system by passing as an authorized users. They will observe the user's login ID and then password, and based on that they will react as a authorized users. So this can be done with the help of a malicious software or malicious logic, like a Trojan horse is injected in the system, and based on that the system administrator's username and then password is hacked, and after a certain period of a time a third party is gained access as a system administrator. So here they will try to make use of the system resources with the help of a malicious logic, by executing the malicious logic or by executing the Trojan horse virus. So the masquerade is a one type of active attack. This is a simple example for this, a masquerade. Falsification. Falsification is replacing of any data or altering the any data. Okay. Say for an example, a student may alter his or her grades on a school database. That is a falsification. Right, and next is repudiation. Repudiation is called as denial of services. Okay, denies of sending the data or denies of receiving the data or processing the data. So that is called as a repudiation. So simply I can say the repudiation is called as a denial of services. And the third threat is called as disruption. So disruption, it also affects the system integrity. So if we have the disruption in our system, so automatically the three attacks are possible. One is in-cap citation, and another one corruption, obstruction. Okay, so in cap citation is it is attack on system availability. So it directly distract the physical resources, that is it damages the physical hardware, that is either by disabling the any hardware devices for performing not performing the functions, or to perform some malicious function by using the Trojan horses, viruses and worms. So this can be achieved with the help of these three malicious software. One is a Trojan horses or viruses or worms. Okay, they will inject this malicious software and they will try to execute this code in the authorized system. After that, they will gain the access of the particular system, and then they try to distract the entire resources. Next is corruption. So corruption, that is also done with the help of the malicious software. In this, what is happen is the system resources or service functions in an unintended manner. That is, the operations can be done in the system resources or services in an unintended manner. That is, the other third party is gaining the access, unauthorized user is gaining the access of the system, and they modify the certain functions. That is, this also done with the help of the malicious software, like they inject some certain code into the system with the familiar name or the important name of the particular important name of file name. So what the normal user will do it, they will think that that is a compulsory file or the intended file which I want to execute. So once if they start executing or start pressing that, so automatically the malicious behavior will start. The trigger will indicated the code. So that code is triggered by clicking. So what it happens is it creates a backdoor to entry into the system for affecting all kinds of activities. So this is called as a backdoor logic. Next is abstraction. So abstraction is to interfere with communications by disabling a communication links, right? So it may affect in the physical devices and altering the communication control information. Say for an example, too much of packet I have to send into the same receiver, so that the overload will increase, then automatically the receiver may not able to perform anything, right? So in that way I am going to they are affecting the systems, that is called as abstraction. So next thread, it also deals about the system integrity. So here we have two major attacks are associated in this. One is a misappropriation and another one is called as a misuse. So misappropriation, we simply say it is called as a distributed denial of service, that is also done with the help of a malicious software. So with the help of the malicious software, a third party gain access the operating system or the intended devices. Misuse. So misuse, it is done with the help of a malicious logic, same malicious logic, or a hacker that has gained unauthorized access to the system. How? Only with the help of this malicious software. And threats and assets. Actually, in general, in a system terminology or in operating system terminology also, we have four major assets in the computer systems. One is a hardware, second one is a software, third one is data, and fourth one is communication lines and networks. So we have to provide the security for both the hardware, software, that is a logical component of the system, even for the memory and for the physical component of the systems, especially the communication lines, because here there are the two familiar terms we have to use it here. One is called as the active attack and another one is called as a passive attack. What did happen in active attack and passive attack? Active attack, it simply make the changes in the system or in any functions. whereas in physical attack it is very hard to detect, is because of it doesn't change or alter the any system utilities or any system functions. Simply by using the traffic analysis, it will observe the entire data, and after that it will act, the third party is acting as a intended user. So all these are the major thing which affects these various hardware assets of the computer systems. Okay, let me go one by one. So this scope of the system security, where how we can able to provide the security of the systems, whatever may be the systems, right. So for this entire elements, we are going to discuss about the three major attack services, sorry, not attack services. One is called as availability, confidentiality and integrity. Now there is a table which shows the relationship between the various components and its services. That is, for every component, what are the services it is required and what type of attacks it may possible, right. Say for an example, software, some of the instructions may be deleted, obviously the software will not work, right. It affects the availability, denying, and confidentiality, the pirated copy, unauthorized copy, that is one familiar example of confidentiality. And integrity is a program will work, a function will work, but they modified the certain instructions, they are not deleting it, the attacker are modified the certain functions, so that the function is acting as in a regular way, but it gives a misleading informations or unintended output. Okay. So likewise it defines the complete the relationship of the various components of the system, that is the computer systems and its services, right. Hardware, so hardware mainly it is for availability. Okay. So hardware is the most vulnerable component to attack, and we need a automated control for this hardware, this component. This attack may happen in accidental or purposely damage the equipment. Okay. The proliferation of computer personal computers and increasing, that is exposure of the personal computers and increasing the number of systems in the wireless LAN. Now this also leads to the potential losses, right. So if somebody is thefting the CD-ROM and then DVD, obviously what we are going to store in the DVD and then CD-ROM, it's our own data, it's some sensitive data we may stored in that devices. So if they are stealing those information, obviously it directly affects the confidentiality, right. So physical and administrative security measures are needed here to deal with stopping of all this stealing of the information. We need to have a physical monitoring as well as also the administrative monitoring mechanisms. And software, obviously we can say meaning of the software, I can take the system utility, editors, any application programs, even the operating systems also we can say it is prone to the security attacks. So it affects availability. Okay. So say for an example, in application software, it is easy to delete certain codes, then automatically the application software may not work. Or yes, we can change the certain instructions in the software so that the software is working in unauthorized manner, it discloses the certain informations to the third party without the knowledge of the respective users. Okay, for this what do we want to do in the software? We need a careful software configuration management. That it means that then and there we need to have a backup, we need to have a checkpoint, so that if there is any fault is happened, we need to roll back from the particular checkpoint, and then and there we need to update the recent version of the software. So if we have this, then we can able to have the overcome such attacks. So as I said earlier, the software piracy is another one major big issues is here. So all these things will be solved with the help of a centralized software configuration management, so that we can stop the all sort of attacks which is associated in the software. But unauthorized copying of a software, we cannot able we are not in the position to solve it, but somehow we are trying to stop this attack. So next is data. Data, as we know that all our data which is stored in the system is a sensitive data. So it directly affects the computing center professionals or the individual concerns. For that we need to have a data security here, even though it is an individual or a group of the things, we need some data security. We have some automated tool. At present day we have some automated tools are there for this data security. And another familiar example of the way in which we can have the data security is called as we can maintain the confidentiality, and we have the access control. All these things we can able to do it to achieve the security with respect to the data or the information. Let me go one by one, that is how we can enrich the availability of the data. Okay, so this is very concerned about the destruction of the data files, that is a deletion of the data files by accidentally or maliciously. And secrecy is unauthorized users are reading the data. Okay, here major problem is statistical database. The meaning of the statistical database is the analysis of a data and manifests itself, that is called as a statistical data. So they can steal any statistical data. So it provides, why it is a very complicated one is because it provides a summary and aggregated information about the particular files or any resources which is available in the systems. Okay, so if the statistical data is grows like anything, if the size of the data statistical data is increases, automatically it prone to the error. And data integrity. So data integrity, the major concern which is respect to the installations, that is modification of any data files. Okay, and communication lines and networks. So here we are going to start our familiar terms which is called as a passive attack and active attack. A passive attack is learn or make use of information from the system, but beauty of this attack is it does not affect the system resources. So how they will how the third party is accessing the information with the help of the passive attack is, one nature is called as eavesdropping, and another one monitoring of transmissions, whereas in active attack it directly affects the system resources. So it modifies certain informations. The goal of the attacker is they want to hack the data. If it is in a personal computer or if it is in networking, while during the transmission they want to steal or theft certain data. Okay, so in general there are the two types of passive attacks are there. One is called as a release of message contents and another one air traffic analysis. Okay, so release of message content is we are transmitting the email is having some sensitive data, and we are transferring certain file over the network that also have some sensitive data. All these things they are trying to steal so that they can get all the respective informations. So in this case, how we can able to stop is, I need to have the mask of the particular data mask. I need to provide the mask, that is I need to include the mask in the particular data, so that even the third parties accessed the data, hacked the data, they are not in the position to open the file and read the entire information, is because the particular file is masked. Okay, so this simple example, that is that way how it is can be done, that is only with the help of the encryption concept. So the second passive attack is a traffic analysis. Simply observe the traffic. They sit among between the users, and they will assess how frequently they are transmitting the data and what is the size of the data. So that traffic analysis they will do. After that, from that traffic analysis, they will try to manipulate that certain informations and to get the access into the system with like as a authorized users. So the passive attacks are very difficult to detect. Why is because it did not alter any system data. So one feasible solution here is we need to go for the encryption mechanism, right? Okay. So the passive attack we need to prevent rather than the detection, because it leads to major loss. So that's why we need to have the prevention. Whereas in active attack, we need to detect it more than the prevention. Prevention is not possible for the active attack. If you want to have a prevention, obviously we need to have a physical security in all the places. That is a highly tedious for every organization. So that's why there are so many detection mechanisms have been defined rather than the prevention. May sometimes the detection mechanism is also act as a prevention mechanism, right? So active attacks, some modifications of the data, it directly affects the system resources. So there are the four categories of attacks. One is called as a replay. Get the data after a certain moment of a time period, send the data, change the timestamp and send the data. Masquerade, modification of messages, denial of service. Let me go one by one. Replay. Replay is retransmission of the data to the authorized users. Next, a masquerade. Masquerade is the simple example for the masquerade. I can say it is called as a spoofing. Some form of a spoofing attack is called as masquerade, because that attacker is trying to forge as I am the authorized user for the data transmission. Okay. So the modification of messages. After receiving the messages from the authorized sender, the third party they can modify, they can reorder, they can delete, and which is transferred into the other area. Simple example, allow, the original message is allow John Smith to read confidential file accounts. Now after modifying by the attacker, now the modified information is allow Fred Brown to read confidential file accounts. So this is the way the file is modified. And denial of service. So denial of service is for the specific target. Okay. So it is completely disrupt the entire network, either by disabling the network or overloading the networks. And this denial of services is especially is for degrade the performance of the systems. Assume that in somewhere if we all are connected in the network, in the server there is a major attack is happened through some worms and malicious software. Automatically, if other users who are working in the internet, they are telling that now today the internet speed is very low, but actually it is not. It is only based on the the behavior of the malicious software. So the active attacks present the opposite characteristics of the passive attack. Yes, obviously, because it is difficult to detect. Which one? A passive attack, whereas in passive attack are difficult to detect, whereas in active attack is difficult to prevent. And active attack requires the physical protection of all communication facility and parts. Now it is not at all possible at present scenario, because in all the way we need to protect our own physical thing. So that is very tedious right now. Okay. So I hope in this entire presentation you get some idea about how the third party is gaining the access of the authorized users. That is, the unauthorized users, how they are gaining the access to the access of the authorized users to access their system resources or the affect the information which is located in the system. The system is maybe a personal computer or a system which is located in any network. Okay. So, from my next presentation, I will catch you with my next presentation with the various security threats and what do you mean by intruders and malicious softwares. Thank you.